Okay, let's dive into something that, well, maybe feels a bit off the usual radar, especially as we get older.
Hmm.
We're talking about penis care for older men.
Yeah.
It might seem like a topic that kind of just fades away after a certain point, right?
Right. It often does.
But the source we're looking at today suggests paying attention here really matters, maybe even more later in life.
Right. That's exactly right.
And it gets very practical, lays out five specific rules.
Really actionable stuff.
Yeah, and our mission here is to pull out the core wisdom, understand the why behind these rules,
Hmm.
you know, why they actually work, and give you some clear, non-gimmicky insights for hygiene, comfort, blood flow, the whole nine yards.
And it's such an important area of health, often, well, completely overlooked. It connects deeply to your overall well-being, your confidence, your quality of life as the years pass.
Definitely.
Changes do happen with age, that's normal, but understanding them and knowing these simple ways to care for yourself, that's really empowering.
Exactly. So, in this deep dive, we'll walk through these five rules. You'll get a what to do, sure, but also why it matters, what might happen if you don't, and how these small changes can impact more than just physical stuff.
It's surprisingly holistic.
Totally. Let's jump in. Starting with, well, the absolute basics.
Mm.
Cleaning. Rule
Yeah,
one.
okay.
Rule number one from this elderly wisdom source, gentle daily cleaning. And maybe the surprising part, without overdoing it, seems basic, I know.
Mhm.
Stuff you learned ages ago.
Right.
But the source really hammers home that it's crucial and often done, well, incorrectly, especially as skin changes. Why is this simple step so key? And why the emphasis on gentle?
Yeah, that's the crucial bit. It's not just get clean. It's about protecting skin that gets, thinner, more delicate with age, especially sensitive skin.
Okay.
So harsh scrubbing or using really strong soaps, particularly antibacterial ones, they can actually strip away the skin's natural oils and importantly the good bacteria, that protective barrier.
Ah, right. The microbiome stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. And when that barrier is compromised, the area is just much more vulnerable to irritation, dryness, general discomfort.
Okay, so practically speaking, what does the source say is the right way? How do you do it?
It's pretty straightforward. Warm water, a really soft touch.
Just water.
Often, yeah. If you do use soap, it has to be mild. Unscented, definitely no alcohol, no harsh chemicals, gentle washing, and pay attention under the foreskin if uncircumcised.
Makes sense.
And the last step, they really stress this. Rinse completely. Pat dry. Don't rub.
Pat, not rub. Got it.
Yeah, leaving moisture trapped there is just asking for trouble, like irritation or even fungal issues.
The source shared a story, didn't it? About a guy named Dennis.
Yes, Dennis, 74. He'd been dealing with constant itching and dryness for years, tried all sorts of things.
Poor guy.
Yeah, turned out his urologist figured it out. He was overcleaning, using antibacterial soap twice a day, thinking he was being extra careful.
Wow, doing too much.
Exactly. He switched to mostly warm water, maybe a super mild cleanser sometimes. Symptoms basically vanished.
So the takeaway really is about supporting the body's natural defenses, not like attacking them.
Precisely. Overcleaning strips that protective layer. And with thinner skin, it just can't bounce back easily. Leads to redness, cracking, sensitivity. It's all about finding that gentle balance.
And there was a psychological piece too, right? The source mentioned it.
Yes, that was interesting. Taking those few extra seconds, it's not just preventing a rash. They framed it as an act of self-respect.
Mm.
Like a quiet way of saying, this part of me still matters. It deserves care, even if it's private. It builds this subtle sense of dignity,
Right.
quiet confidence.
So rule one, gentle care supports the body's balance, prevents common issues, keeps things comfortable. Makes sense.
Fundamentally, yes. Treat it kindly.
Okay, next up, rule two, the daily visual check. The source calls this one quietly powerful. Not about fear, they say, but familiarity.
Yeah, and this is often skipped. That's why it's so important. A lot of men think, no pain, no problem.
Right, out of sight, out of mind sometimes.
But things like skin infections, small sores, unusual bumps, even early signs of skin cancer, though less common, they can start silently.
So what are we looking for specifically?
The source mentions things like any discoloration, new spots that look rough or crusty, or maybe an area that just isn't healing right. Doesn't mean panic, just notice.
And how do you do it? It sounds like it's time.
Not at all. Seconds, really. The source suggests easy times, like after a shower while drying off or just when getting dressed. Literally just a quick look. Skin, shape, surface. That's it.
There is that story about Frank, 79. That was pretty impactful.
Yes, Frank's story. He saw a spot, thought it was maybe an ingrown hair, something minor. Didn't hurt, so he ignored it. Didn't go away. Finally mentioned it to his doctor. Turned out it was early-stage skin cancer.
Wow.
But because he caught it early, treatment was simple, successful. His quote was powerful. I never thought to check. Figured if it didn't hurt, it didn't matter.
That really hits home.
But now it's just something I do once a day. No fear, just awareness.
That says it all. Awareness, not fear.
Exactly. Early detection is everything. Easier treatment, less worry. This quick check helps you spot irritations, infections, rashes, growths when they're small.
Right.
And it makes it easier to talk to your doctor if needed, because you know what's normal for you.
And psychologically, what's the benefit there?
Knowing your body builds confidence. It shifts you from maybe ignoring or fearing something to being proactive, aware, in control.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of staying connected to your body as you age, honoring it.
So this quick glance gives you information, clarity, maybe prevents bigger issues down the road.
Absolutely. Such a small action, but potentially huge peace of mind. It's fascinating, really.
Okay, rule 3, moisturizing.
Right.
Now, I gotta say, this one might sound strange to some guys. Moisturizing there.
Tickle slightly. Yeah, I get that reaction. It sounds a bit odd initially.
But the source argues it's actually really smart. A simple way to prevent common discomforts later on. Why is it needed?
Well, think about skin elsewhere. As we age, it gets thinner, drier, loses elasticity. That happens everywhere, including the penis.
Okay, right.
So that skin needs moisture to stay healthy, flexible. Without it, much more likely to get dry, flaky, itchy, even crack, which is obviously uncomfortable.
Painful, yeah. So what kind of moisturizer? Can you just grab, like hand cream?
Good question. The sources definitely use the right product. Nothing with fragrance, alcohol, menthol, heavy perfumes. Those can irritate sensitive skin.
Makes sense. Keep it simple.
Exactly. Gentle, fragrance-free, a basic unscented lotion, or even a medical-grade barrier cream works. And you only need a tiny bit, pea-sized amount.
Just a little bit?
Yep. Gently apply after drying off from a shower. You're just helping replace the natural moisture that aging skin makes less of.
There was Harold's story, right? 82 years old.
Yes, Harold. He had this persistent irritation, dry, tight skin. Just figured, I'm getting older.
Just part of the deal, he thought.
Right. Until his doctor suggested just a tiny bit of gentle moisturizer daily. Harold said, I didn't even realize how tight the skin had gotten. Now I don't think twice. It's like brushing my teeth.
Wow, what a difference for him.
It highlights the physical benefit, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Dry, fragile skin cracks easily. That means pain, potential bleeding, infection risk. Moisturizing prevents that. Improves comfort hugely. Doesn't matter if you're sexually active or not, comfort matters.
Right, just day-to-day comfort.
And the absence of irritation provides, well, peace of mind.
And that connects to the psychological side again, doesn't it? Like the check. It's paying attention to a part of the body maybe guys disconnect from.
Totally.
Yeah.
It helps shift that narrative from, oh, that part of my life is done, to, no, I'm still here. I care about my body, my comfort.
Yeah.
And that shift, the source points out, boosts self-esteem. Makes it easier to bring up issues with a doctor, too.
So it's never too late to start this habit.
Never. Once it's routine, it feels normal. And it's not vanity. It's stewardship, good self-care. It does make you think, are you giving this area the same thoughtful attention you give your face or hands?
Good question.
Okay.
Rule number 4, supporting circulation, daily movement. We hear exercise is good for the heart, muscles, weight, but maybe don't connect it directly to, well, down there.
And it's so directly connected, absolutely critical. Good blood flow impacts everything, erection strength, sensation, even how quickly things heal.
Right.
The penis isn't isolated. It's part of this whole integrated system. Circulation naturally slows down a bit with age, and especially with inactivity or things like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol.
So what kind of movement are we talking? Do you need to run marathons?
Chuckles.
No.
No, definitely not. The source emphasizes light, consistent movement. Doesn't have to be intense at all.
Like what?
Simple stuff.
Yeah.
Light stretching, gardening, getting up for a 10-15-minute walk, standing during TV commercials, marching in place while the kettle boils. Consistency is the name of the game.
Consistency, not intensity. Got it. Robert's story was interesting here. 76 years old.
Yeah, Robert. He was pretty sedentary. Started just walking around the block twice a day. Short walks, 10-15 minutes.
Thought the crazy.
Nope. After a month or so, felt more energetic, sure. But he also noticed more morning erections, which he hadn't had in years. the big change, just moving his legs more consistently.
That's amazing, just from walking.
It shows the medical takeaway perfectly. Movement signals blood vessels everywhere, including the pelvic area, to stay open, flexible, work efficiently. It helps manage blood sugar, reduces inflammation, supports nerve health, all directly influencing erectile function and sensation. You see, it's not just heart health in isolation, it's connected.
It's all connected. And the psychological piece.
Again, it ties in. Moving is active. It's claiming your space, affirming you're engaged with life. That intention flows into caring for your whole body.
Right.
These simple acts remind your body and mind you're choosing strength, flexibility, function, even in areas maybe you thought were winding down.
So if you feel a bit disconnected, a bit sluggish in that department, the advice is start moving your feet.
Pretty much. Just get moving. Every step sends positive signals all the way down. Circulation, nerves, confidence, it all benefits.
Build a habit.
Oh.
Okay, last one, rule 5. Mindful urination and complete emptying. The source says this is super overlooked but critical. Why is just going not always enough, and why does emptying fully matter so much?
Yeah, this one's subtle but important because incomplete emptying can quietly cause real problems later when urine stays behind in the bladder.
Leftovers.
Exactly. It's a perfect breeding ground for bacteria, can lead to UTIs. It also puts pressure on the prostate, causes discomfort, and over time can even damage the bladder muscle itself.
And guys might not even realize they're not emptying fully.
Right. Age-related changes happen. Pelvic floor muscles might weaken, the prostate might enlarge and press on the urethra, making it harder to empty. Even the sensation of being full or empty can become less reliable.
Okay, that makes sense. So how do you practice mindful urination? What's the technique?
It's mainly about slowing down, being intentional.
Taking your time.
Yes. Don't rush. Consciously relax your muscles. Sitting down often helps a lot, even if you normally stand. Deep breaths can relax the pelvic floor.
Okay.
And the key tip from the source: wait an extra 10, maybe 20 seconds after you think you're done.
The double void idea.
Sort of. And gently leaning forward or shifting side to side can help trigger that last little bit out.
Gotcha. Gerald's story, 81, really illustrated this, didn't it?
It did. He was getting up all night, never felt relief, started having daytime leakage.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it really impacts quality of life.
Definitely. His doctor figured out it was incomplete voiding. He started using these simple techniques, taking time, relaxing, sitting. His symptoms improved dramatically, quite quickly, too.
That's fantastic. Just small adjustments.
It shows the physical benefit clearly. These little changes can mean the difference between chronic discomfort, urgency, dribbling, and real relief. Huge improvement in daily life.
And psychologically, being mindful while
Yeah.
peeing.
Duckles. Sounds funny, but yeah. The source puts it well. It reconnects you with your body's signals. You're listening, paying attention, taking yourself seriously enough to slow down.
Right.
They actually quote, "Caring about it is how you avoid complications. Practicing this small act of awareness is one of the easiest ways to protect your comfort, your dignity, and your health."
Well into the years ahead. That's powerful.
It is. It's respecting how your body works, even in these quiet moments. It's about comfort and dignity, not just avoiding problems.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive based on elderly wisdom. Those 5 rules again. Gentle cleaning, not too much. Daily visual check, moisturizing, daily movement for circulation, and mindful complete urination. And the big takeaway seems to be this isn't vanity. It's not about shame. It's basic comfort, health, and respect for yourself.
Absolutely. Think of them less as chores, more like a daily rhythm of care. Practice consistently. They support physical health, yes, but also confidence, that sense of control.
Right.
Aging well is partly about tuning in, listening to what your body needs now.
And if this is all new, don't feel overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
The source suggests just pick one.
Exactly. Just start with one. Maybe the daily check. Maybe trying to empty more completely. Simple changes, but they're meaningful ways to show up for yourself.
Yeah.
And about that lingering embarrassment, let's just say it, there's nothing shameful about taking care of your body, any part of it.
Absolutely.
In fact, tending to these often ignored areas with simple, steady habits, that might be one of the strongest, most self-respecting things you can do.
Well said.
So maybe a final thought for you to consider. We focus a lot on the big health stuff, diet, gym routines, checkups. Important, yes. But what if some of the most profound acts of care, the ones really supporting our comfort, dignity, long-term well-being, are found in these quiet daily moments no one else sees? Think about how paying attention to the small things in your body, like we talked about, might unlock a deeper connection, a quiet confidence in this stage of life.